Hey everybody, it's Lyn from Lyn's Crafts. I've got a Valentine tutorial to show you today. I'm going to be using some cosmic shimmer gilding flakes, and this happens to be the only color I have right now, and it is the Red Blaze, and I got those from Tupelo Designs. This is the type of thing we're going to attempt to do. Here's another one. Alright, so I've just got some red Sculpey. I'm sorry, Sculpey 3. It just happened to have been a freebie I got when I ordered some clay. So I'm going to, no I'm not. I've just rolled it out with my acrylic roller, kind of thick. Alright, so I'm going to take some of the gilding flakes. And these flakes are no particular size or shape or I've got a scrubby brush, as I say. So I'm just going to put some of these I'm going to put some of these flakes down and try not to breathe on it. One of the things I like about these flakes is they are so varied in color. And there's no need to worry about where you get layers of the gilding flakes on there, because it'll come off. Anywhere you get multiple layers on there. Alright, so there's what we've got. Then I'm going to take it and roll it through my pasta machine. And let's see, I've got it set on a 5, which is about midway. 1 is the thickest on my machine. And look at the lovely crackle effect you get. Alright, so we're going to cut out I'm only going to use one of them, but I'm going to go ahead and cut out several. Okay, and then this bit right here you can just roll up and make beads, or save it for another project. You're gonna have to excuse the mess I've got on my desk. I've got a big project going on, so, and I will share it eventually. Alright, so there's a lot of things you can do at this point. You can stamp into it with a rubber stamp to leave some texture. You can stamp onto it with ink, like a stays on top of ink. Or you can bake it, and then we're going to stamp onto it and use some embossing powder. So I'm going to bake these, or bake one of them, and I'll be back. Okay, so here's the one that I chose. And now we're going to stamp on it. And I've chosen this this damask heart, and it's from, I believe, the Hero Arts stamp set that I believe is Hearts and Damask, or Damask and Hearts, or something like that, something to that effect. I didn't save the label. So I've got some Versamark that I'm going to stamp the heart in, and yes, it's ugly, but it does still work. So you can see the sheen of the ink on the stamp, and I'm going to do my best to get it sort of centered. And then as I make a mess, I'm going to find, I've got this Ranger Gold, it's the Princess Gold. Actually, I lied. This is just the Ranger Embossing Powder Gold. That Princess Gold is pretty, it's a pretty yellow gold, which would be fine, but alright, and as you can see, it didn't stamp very well down here at the bottom. And that may have just been because I didn't put enough embossing powder. Or it may have been because the stamp didn't stamp very well. Alright, heat your heat gun up off to the side. That'll help you keep from blowing your embossing powder everywhere. And start kind of high up until you see it start to change. And it really does go that quick. Alright, so where it didn't stamp, I'm just going to use, I've got a Wow embossing pen. Versamark makes one too, I just don't happen to have one. And I just created some lines to fill in that heart shape. Can you see that? Now of course you could do some just random texture because it's a pretty undefined stamp. And I always pour my embossing powder over a folded sheet of paper so that I can pour the excess back in. And I've said before, I've just got a cup hook screwed underneath my desk, my table, that my heat gun hangs from. Alright, I'm sorry. So there's the heart. Now, if you've done much polymer clay work, a lot of people would say don't use Sculpey 3 to do jewelry. And this piece is really thin. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put resin on the top. And then afterwards, or before, I'm going to put another sheet on the back. So it will not only be 2 layers thick, but it'll have a coat of resin on the top. If I was doing something where I was doing some clay loops or something that I was going to hang it from, I certainly wouldn't use the Sculpey 3. It's just a little more brittle after it's baked. Alright. I've just got a random card that I stick in my UV light. And this is a new to me brand of UV resin, and it's Ultra Dome. And this is the website. Actually, this is the website. You can also go to Ultra Dome. It's got its points. It doesn't shrink as much as the Magic Gloss, but it's quite a bit thinner. And if you're doing something where you're filling a mold or something like that, I probably would prefer the Magic Gloss because it is thicker and a little easier to work with. But for this application where I'm putting a layer on top, I might actually prefer this Ultra Dome. I don't really care for the fact that it's thinner, but that may just be because I'm not used to it. I do like the fact that it shrinks less. Alright, so it's that simple. Just pour it on, use a toothpick or whatever to pull it out to the edge. It will self-dome. If you have any bubbles in it, you can take a lighter and just hold it over the surface, not touching the surface, and it'll pop the bubbles. So I'm going to put this under my UV light for, I'm going to do 20 minutes. Okay. Here it is out of the UV light, out from under the UV light. And I love how it gives a almost dimensional look to the embossing that you did, that I did, that we did. I just rolled out some of the scrap red clay with the gold flakes, and this is going to be my back. So I've just got some Sculpey Bacon Bond. And there's so many steps to doing this. You can easily do this before you do the resin. And if you have the glue on top bales, you could insert one of those in between. Or a large jump ring. Now, as you can see on this piece, I used a really large jump ring. I believe that's like a 12 millimeter. This one is a 10 millimeter, but it's a thinner gauge wire. Alright, we're going to look from the top, and as you can see, it's still got a gap there. So we're just going to gently press until there is no gap. Alright, and you can run your finger around the edge and kind of round it off a little bit if it bothers you. Alright, and then once again we're just going to pop that in the oven and bake it again just like we did the first time. Just about 20 minutes. It's just a very thin layer, and that's all it's going to need. Alright, so there it is. A Valentine crackled foil embossed with resin on top. Very pretty. You could add some hot fix rhinestones to the surface. That would be pretty. Let's do that. Just when you thought we were through. I have them here on my desk somewhere. If you could see the mess. If you could see the work surface. It really is work going on, I promise. Alright. Finding the color you want is always the hardest. Alright, there's a red one. Alright. Now, even though they're hot fix rhinestones, I'm still not very trusting. I had somebody ask me how I work with my nails. I'd be lost without them. Alright. And you can just put those in there with the bacon bond and pop it right back in the oven because they are glass rhinestones. Okay. There we go. I want to wish everybody a happy... Before I was so rudely interrupted, I just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And I apologize, it's been a while since I did a video. For everybody that asked about my missing dog, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. we do believe that he was taken from our yard, and there's evidently a big theft ring going on in our county and some surrounding counties. So I've been doing a lot of research and working to help with that. So everybody, if you could say some prayers or send some kind thoughts our way, hopefully we'll get him back home. So, all right, holler at y'all later. Bye now.